All right, so let's talk about the Chimaev sweepstakes. And I call it the Chimaev sweepstakes because since Chimaev has won the belt from DDP in that dominant show that we didn't get a finish in, I'm still on that. I immediately started thinking about 4 guys that could be challenging Chimaev for the belt. I have Reinier de Ridder in no particular order, Fluffy Hernandez, kind of working my way up in the order though, Nasruddin Imavov, and Kyle Brahalo. Couldn't tell which one was going to go. We already got Kyle Brahalo and Nasruddin Imavov. I probably butchered his name. Chael Sonnen butchers names all the time. But we got these 2 scheduled to fight the weekend after this UFC China card, and they'll be out there in France. Another fight that's not in the Apex. I'm loving it. It's like we signed a Paramount deal, and now we got the bread to run around and go to cities. Maybe one day we'll completely do away with the Apex. I mean, it's got its pros and cons, but nothing beats a crowd in my opinion. But what I'm saying is Kyle Brahalo and Nasruddin Imavov, they already have a date set. So unless we're going to cancel this fight and substitute one of them with somebody else, like substitute Kyle out and have him fight Chimaev soon. Chimaev wants to fight in Abu Dhabi. We already got these 2 scheduled to fight. And then recently, I think yesterday, Dana White announced that we're going to have Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Reinier de Ridder. Now, I was already thinking, it's probably a reach to think Hernandez could get a fight with Chimaev right now, but it's an interesting matchup because what Chimaev did to DDP, Anthony Hernandez has been doing that to every other contender on his way up. He's got an endless gas tank. He wrestles you, he grinds you, and then he finishes you. He's very good at it. He's made a lot of fans out of that type of style. And then you got Reinier de Ridder. This is probably the only guy that came from another organization that hasn't got humbled as far as establishing that there's levels to this shit when it comes to UFC and everybody else, and forget who you were somewhere else. Reinier de Ridder is holding up pretty good in that aspect. And him and Chimaev have already started going back and forth on Twitter. Seems like Chimaev wants to get at him next. But all 4 guys that I thought would be fighting Chimaev for the belt next, they're all booked. They've all got a date. Which means one thing. Somebody is going to have to make an impression to get Chimaev next. Kyle Brahalo goes out there and beats Imavov, or Imavov comes out, beats Kyle, Fluffy Hernandez beats Reinier de Ridder, or vice versa. You do it in impressive fashion, you'll probably get the title shot next. Seems like that's the lineup. To be honest, I'm not mad at it. I don't know how, but the thing is, I don't know how either of these guys could go through this fight that they have set up and then think you're going to fight Chimaev in Abu Dhabi unless you finish your opponent and come out unscathed for the most part. You don't come out with no serious injuries. You don't come out with no serious damage. Maybe you could turn around and fight Chimaev again. But then again, if you could do that, why would you want to? There's advantages to fighting and being, fighting quick turnarounds. You're still in great shape. You're pretty much on par to make weight. You're still sharp because you just got out the cage. There's advantages to it, but I feel like with Chimaev, wouldn't you want a full camp? Unless your confidence is riding too high. And we saw what happens when your confidence is riding too high with Chimaev. Go ask Drakus. He probably still won't talk to you right now. So that's the Chimaev sweepstakes as it stands currently. We'll be paying attention to this to see how it all goes down. We'll get the first fight, the first pair of the sweepstakes. Kyle Brahalo and Nasruddin, they'll be fighting in Paris the week after this weekend, after this Shanghai card. And then I believe that's UFC Vancouver, which got a nice little card on that one. I'll break that down in another video. But UFC Vancouver is going to have Fluffy Hernandez versus, it's not a pause. That's his nickname, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Anyway, you get Fluffy Hernandez versus Reinier de Ridder on the Vancouver card. Let's see who gets Chimaev next.